Так вот, если натовцы отправят миротворцев на Украину, они должны понимать, это будет прямым столкновением вооруженных сил России и НАТО. Чем закончится это столкновение, объяснять, наверное, не стоит. Это называется Третья мировая война.
На мой взгляд, если все-таки в блоке НАТО остались здравомыслящие люди, они, конечно, не должны дать согласие на проведение подобной операции. Почему? Потому что коллективное, коллегиальное решение всех участников организации Североатлантического альянса будет означать фактически объявление войны России. Это, в общем, казус белли. Это действительно война между Россией и НАТО. Для того, чтобы в этой войне одержать победу, нам, хотим мы или не хотим, нам придется применять тактическое ядерное оружие. На театре военных действий потом уже более пойдет мощное стратегическое ядерное оружие. Это всеобщая ядерная война.
Последствия обстрелов драмтеатров. Ракета попала прямо в центр драмтеатра. Сейчас люди пытаются эвакуироваться. Авиаудар был по драмтеатру, прямо в центре. Мы были на первом этаже и не пострадали. Но авиаудар, под этими завалами, возможно, много людей, которые прятались от обстрелов.
US President Joe Biden's trip to Brussels to meet leaders of NATO, the G7 and European Union was aimed at rallying Western allies to find ways to stop Russia's war in Ukraine and send a message to Moscow that the West is united.
NATO has never been more united than it is today. Putin is getting exactly the opposite what he intended to have as a consequence of going into Ukraine.
Biden said the US would commit $1 billion in humanitarian aid to Ukraine and that Western allies would impose a raft of new sanctions on Moscow.
We're also announcing new sanctions of more than 400 individuals and entities in alignment with the European Union. More than 300 members of the Duma, oligarchs and Russian defense companies that fuel the Russian war machine.
It's the second time in a few months that he's been subject to serious accusations. The president of Interpol, Ahmed Nasser Al-Raisi, is being probed by the French anti-terror prosecution unit for alleged barbarism and torture. The Gulf Center of Human Rights is accusing Al-Raisi of inhumane cruelty towards Ahmed Mansour, an opposition figure during his time at the Emirati Interior Ministry. According to his lawyers, Mansour has been imprisoned since 2017 in a 4-square-meter cell without humane facilities. Whilst running to become the new boss of the International Criminal Police Force, torture allegations were already rife from human rights organisations. But the Emirati general escaped prosecution under the reasoning that he doesn't live in France. But since starting his post at Interpol's Lyon headquarters in November, those conditions were no longer valid, allowing the NGO to lodge a complaint.
Ethiopia's government declared an immediate truce with rebellious Tigrayan forces on Thursday to allow aid into the war-ravaged northern province. A spokesman for the Tigrayan forces did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The 16-month-old conflict has pitted Tigray's rulers, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, against the central government led by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. More than 90% of people in Tigray need food aid, according to the United Nations. But only a tiny trickle has entered since Ethiopian troops withdrew from the region at the end of June last year. Both sides have previously blamed each other for blocking aid.
Somalian government officials say 48 people have been killed and 108 others wounded in twin suicide attacks. The blasts happened in the city of Beledweyne on Wednesday. Militant group Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility, saying that they were targeting politicians ahead of elections. The fatalities of these two attacks include a former legislator, a member of the federal parliament, whose body was airlifted to Mogadishu for burial. Earlier on Wednesday, Al-Shabaab also claimed responsibility for killing 8 people at Mogadishu's Halane military camp. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has sued Hillary Clinton and several other Democrats, alleging that they tried to rig the 2016 presidential election by tying his campaign to Russia. This lawsuit covers a long list of grievances that Trump repeatedly aired during his 4 years in the White House after beating Clinton. Trump is still not letting up on this claim that his 2020 election defeat by Democratic President Joe Biden was the result of widespread fraud. He also alleged racketeering and a conspiracy to commit injurious falsehood. The suit seeks compensatory and punitive damages, with Trump saying that he was forced to incur damages of no less than $24 million US.
경의하는 김정은 동지께서 국방과학연구 부문의 지도 간부들과 함께 발사 종합지휘소를 차지하시자 발사 진지와 시험 관측 기술 초소들, 관련 시험 연구소들의 대륙간 탄도미사일 화성포 17형 시험 발사를 위한 전투 경보가 울렸습니다. 전략무기 시험 발사 성공의 기쁨이 발사장에 차고 넘쳤습니다. 경의하는 김정은 동지께서는 우리 공화국의 전략적 지위를 온 세상에 힘있게 과시하는 데 공헌한 붉은기 중대 전투원들과 주요 국방과학 일꾼들을 사랑의 한 품에 안아 뜻깊은 기념사진을 찍으셨습니다. 우리 공화국의 절대적 힘을 온 세상에 힘있게 과시한 뜻깊은 시각, 화선에서 원수님의 품에 안겨 사랑과 믿음의 최절정에 올라선 전체 국방과학 전사들은 앞으로도 우리 국가를 위하여, 우리 당을 위하여, 우리의 김정은 동지를 위하여 무적의 핵공격 수단들을 더 많이